Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Priyanka, and I'm the South Asia in-country representative for University of Missouri St. Louis. UMSL is a tier one institution, as I have spoken to many of you and have stated that. So even though we are number one, and this is according to US News and World Report ranking, and also we rank 126 amongst the other public universities. UMSL is one of the most culturally and ethnically diverse campuses in Missouri, enrolling more than 16,000 students from 49 states and over 70 countries. Business Insider ranked UMSL number one in Missouri for affordability, providing that UMSL students enjoy the best educational value in the state. So today we are going to talk about our biochemistry and biotechnology program. So the mission of biochemistry and biotechnology program is to provide students with a solid foundation in both chemistry and biology, as well as specialized training in the rapidly growing fields of biochemistry and biotechnology. Majors have the opportunity through coursework, laboratories, seminars, and research experience to develop the knowledge and skills necessary to enter the workforce or to go on with the further education. So, as many of you must be aware of the Zoom features, which we do have. If you have any questions, and I'm sure you will have lots of questions, so you can put your questions in the Q&A tab. And we are going to definitely attend all your questions at the end of the presentation. And also, if in case during the time of the presentation, if you face any concerns, be it technical, you're not able to hear us properly, or the video is not there, you can please type it in the chat box and our team will help you out with all the technical concerns. So I'll not take much of your time and I'll introduce you to Lily, who is our international admissions manager, who's a great support for us when it comes to processing and helping us out for all the applicants and all the applications which you send across to us. So over to you, Lee. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Lee Hasagawa. I'm the International Admissions Manager. I'm really happy that you were able to join us. Biochemistry, biotechnology is an exciting field, and we are lucky to have our program director, Dr. Bethany Zolman, here.
Hi, everybody. I am excited to be here with you tonight, this morning. I am going to share a little bit about our program with you and some highlights, as well as some of our degree options. And then I am happy to answer any questions you might have after I get done with my presentation and we see a short video from Lee about the admissions process. So the Biochemistry and Biotechnology program at the University of Missouri St. Louis, we abbreviate it as the BCBT program. We just heard in the introduction, the mission of this program is to provide students with a background in both biology and chemistry. And really this program is at the interface of those two fields, allowing students to explore all kinds of different areas in their future. So things like medicine, things like biotechnology and applied sciences, things like pharmaceuticals, things like plant biology. We do incorporate students in coursework so that they have a solid theoretical foundation, but a large part of our program is based on laboratory experiences where they get hands-on tries with the equipment that you would use if you went into industry, or the different types of research products or different approaches that you might try and use. We do in our program have a combination of faculty and coursework from our departments of biology, as well as the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. And so this allows us to really have experts in our field teaching our courses, as well as teaching the laboratories, and as well as providing research opportunities. And so I'm going to go into each of those three areas a little bit more, and then end by talking a little bit about what our graduates from our program do. So for our undergraduate program, they start off with basic coursework in biology and chemistry. So these would be introductory courses in biology, including courses in genetics and cell biology. In chemistry, they take introductory chemistry and organic chemistry, and then they move up to upper level classes in specialized areas. Along the way, they're required to take laboratory classes in genetics, microbiology, organic chemistry, biochemistry, and biotechnology. Those are all upper level labs. So there's a lot of hands-on lab experience beyond the introductory experiences. You can see a couple of pictures here just showing some of our students engaged in those laboratory processes. We are really excited about our facilities. We opened a new lab facility a couple of years ago. We call it the Student Learning Building. It has new equipment and new stations to really try to simulate what labs experiences would be like once students graduate, so that we can give them some of the things that they need along their way. Once our students get through the introductory coursework, our upper level electives for undergraduate students are completely varied. We have lots of different options, and I've included a bunch here. It's maybe not necessary to read them, but really what I wanted to do is give you an idea about the breadth of our program. So we do have lots of different options. Students are generally pick 3 or 4 of these upper level options. For some of our students that are specializing in a specific area, they might choose 3 or 4 of these electives that all sort of feature the same kinds of themes. So somebody who is involved perhaps in wanting to go in a career that's more medical might choose things like virology and immunobiology and cellular basis of disease and bacterial pathogenesis, because that would give them a solid background in all of those areas. Somebody who is interested more in the chemistry side or the application side, working with the biochemistry, might choose some of our more chemistry related electives shown on the right: the carbohydrate chemistry, the protein aggregation and folding, the bioinorganic chemistry, and then working towards pharmacology. Other students we have who aren't quite so sure what they want to do, or who are still looking broadly at potential fields, might actually take a couple of different classes in a couple of different areas. And this would give them a lot of introduction to a lot of opportunities and may help them sort of think about more specifically what they want their path to be. For our graduate degrees, we have 3 ways that you can earn a graduate degree in our program. So we have a master's degree that is a non-thesis master's degree. This is a 30 credit hour degree where students would take upper level coursework in a variety of areas. There's 15 credit hours of required coursework and 15 credit hours of electives. So lots of options for students to be able to specialize or to get a broad introduction to lots of things within the biotech field. We also have a thesis-based option. So this is an option that requires 17 credit hours of coursework and 13 credit hours of research. So this is a much more research-based intensive project. Students can do research with any of our biology or chemistry faculty that are involved in the program. This program typically takes a little bit longer than a non-thesis program because the research process is not as specifically outlined as a coursework master's would be. We also have a newer program that's called a professional science master's degree. This is a program that combines science and business. So this is a program that we're really highlighting for our students who are interested in thinking about the business aspects of science. So things like marketing or economics or product development. We've also had students who are more thinking about the legal aspects of products, such as patenting and some of the ethical and legal challenges that are associated with marketing products. This is a 32 credit hour degree program. This is a program that requires 21 credit hours of science, as well as 9 credit hours in business, communication, and psychology of workplace. So this one caps in an experience of an internship that is required. All of our students are allowed to do internships. In this particular program, they're required to do an internship to learn the skills as they're really in practice. We also have one more degree program I want to mention that is a dual degree program. The dual degree program is a combination of the bachelor's and the master's. So it takes advantage of some of the overlaps between our bachelor's and master's program and allows students to earn both a bachelor's and a master's in 5 years as opposed to 6. That dual degree option has been taken by a number of our students lately, allowing them to get through both programs a little bit more quickly and saving them a little bit of money. For our master's program, we do have specific requirements that are important to mention. Students are required to have proficiency in English. They do have to have a bachelor's degree. We're not specific about what the field of the bachelor's degree is in, and we often accept 3-year degrees if they are accepted by the university. So we're open in terms of the background. But what I've highlighted here in yellow is maybe one of the more important points. We do have requirements in terms of undergraduate coursework that students have to have completed, which includes genetics and cell biology, organic chemistry, and biochemistry. So those courses are required for all of our master's applications. We cannot have them making that up as a master's student. We do also require students have a 3.0 average on a 4.0 scale, and those are the things we look for. We do try to build diverse cohorts, and we do try to accept students in every semester. So we're open to when students are going to start. The programs that they typically will start with They will take some of their core classes and some of their elective classes at the same time. We do also encourage students at the master's level to do research, even if it's not for a thesis degree. And all of our students are admitted as a non-thesis student, but then can move into the thesis program if that's something that they are desiring. So let me talk a little bit about more research, because I've been kind of highlighting the opportunities there. More formally, a lot of our students will do research as part of their degree programs, earning course credit for what they do. So we do have courses that our undergraduates and our graduate students can take that will allow them to earn credit towards their degrees. The undergraduates can take research for credit and replace some of their existing course requirements. The graduate students can do likewise, and they can even take up to 5 credit hours as a non-thesis student, or more if they were a thesis student. We do have a number of our students who choose not to do a formal research opportunity, but still want to experience what working in a lab is like, because that's a career they're looking for in their future. So we do have some students who will work as a volunteer. This can range from something like shadowing all the way up to somebody who actually will work in the lab alongside the other students. But if they don't need to take the course for credit, then they might just do it on a volunteer basis. We do have a few paid positions within our program. These typically are only for students who are existing in the program and are far into their program. So we get a lot of requests for students who are interested in graduate research assistantships in particular. Those possibilities exist, but there are very few. And so we generally encourage students, if they're interested in a research position, that doing it for course credit is a good start towards getting one of those. We do have research opportunities with all of our faculty members. So the opportunities range from people in the biology department who are working on very organismal questions, to people who are working in more specific cell and molecular biology questions, through to our chemists who are working on biochemical questions, and into even some synthetic organic chemistry questions. We have all kinds of different opportunities, some theoretical, but most wet lab type of experiments. And we have a lot of our students who participate in these opportunities, just to be able to have some practical experience to put on their resume when they finish, as well as their theoretical course experiment and their lab class experiments. We also have opportunities for external internships, and some of our students like to take advantage of those, especially in the summer semesters. This hasn't been so true lately with all of the COVID restrictions on lab sizes, but I hope that soon we can get back to a place where this is a good opportunity for our students. An external internship has to be approved by our program, but in general, any position that students would work in that would focus on research and development would be something that would be approved for credit within that program. I do want to take just a minute to be able to talk about where our alums are working. We do have two sort of side-by-side goals for our students as they're graduating. One is that students who are graduating from our program have the theoretical understanding of basic biology and chemistry concepts and understand the interface of those in biochemistry, and can think about how they can be applied in biotechnology. And so we do have a lot of our students who go to work in lab settings. We have a number of them who stay in St. Louis, where we have a number of really key big industries, including plant biology and including chemical companies and including molecular biology companies. We also have a pretty big startup industry in this town. And so we have a lot of our students who will go to some of the smaller companies and sometimes actually move between them as they start to develop more skills and start to develop more interests in different areas. But we also train people so that they would be successful in professional schools or in graduate schools. So a lot of our graduates actually have gone on to PhD level programs in either biology or chemistry. We also have a number of our graduates right now who are in medical school programs, who are in dental programs and veterinary programs. And so we actually try to encourage our students that this kind of broad background, introducing both biology and chemistry concepts, and then bringing them together into the biochemistry, that stands them out when they are going to apply for jobs. And it sets them up really well for any kind of job, because they have the basic introductions to everything that they need. And they have the tools to apply it no matter what kinds of questions or what kinds of fields they're going to be looking in more. With that, I'm going to end my portion of this formal presentation with our information. We do have a website that has a lot more information, including frequently asked questions for both undergraduate and graduate level applicants. We have a number of social media connections that I will highlight here. And then at the bottom of this, I have also indicated my email address for our program. I'm Bethany Zolman, and I am the program director. The BCBT info is one of the best places to get more information as you're starting to think about this more. And with that, I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Bethany. Thank you for such a wonderful presentation and giving details about our biochemistry and biotechnology programs. I think I'll now pass it on to Lee to share information about our application process and some more insights on University of Missouri, St. Louis. So over to you, Lee. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Let me just get the PowerPoint started.
So in the meantime, I would request everybody, if you have any questions, start typing it in the Q&A tab so that at the end of the presentation, we are able to take each one of your questions. Rather than using the chat box, please type in your questions in the Q&A tab. Thank you all.
All right. So I'd like to start off with the video.
As an 18-year-old and starting a life of your own, I knew it was going to be really tough. I'm from New Delhi, India, and one day when I was just browsing, I saw University of Missouri, St. Louis, and I saw they had one of the best business colleges in the US. I was sharing it with my father, and he was very happy, and then he was like, you know what, just go for it. I was walking out of the plane alone, and that's when it hit me. And when I went to the orientation, it was very difficult to even go and start a conversation with someone because I hadn't done that before. After 1 month of coming here, I packed all my bags and I went back home. I actually flew to New Delhi in September and I was like, nope, I can't do this. But something in me kept telling me to come back here. So after 2 days, I came back to St. Louis, and that's what gave me the motivation that I have to fight.
So I came here 2011 as an MBA student, and most of the domestic students, honestly, especially I just feel people in St. Louis are really nice, and the faculty staff, they are super reachable.
They didn't act like my professors. They were very supportive, whether it was for that course or it was my personal life or how I was adjusting and whether I needed something. They made it really easy for me.
I don't really want to go to university because it has professors that published. If I can't get access to them, that's pointless to me. I want to go to university where I can actually spend time with the professors that are kind of like, leading their topics. And that is something that I thought was very much the case at UMSL. It was quite international. It was very open-minded, and it was really easy to kind of like get to know both other students, but also faculty and staff. And I had a lot of friends from Asia and Africa, and it got so much more immersive. We read each other's literature and we ate each other's food, and we tried to kind of like just really surround ourselves, with these other cultures. Yeah, I think that prepared me quite a bit, and I think the roles that I've been able to attain, joining Facebook in a role as marketing head for Europe, Middle East, and Africa, to join Lufthansa, which is the German national airline, and in Germany it is iconic.
We have a really good reputation. We have a lot of alumni. And we have a great internship opportunity just because of all the Fortune 500 companies in St. Louis. It just feels like they're providing 360 degree, like academia, socially, and different opportunity, no matter it's culture or academic.
Go there, and if you do, it's up to you to make the best of that experience. But the foundation and you know, all the conditions are there. If you want to take it, you can grab
it. It really gave me a lot. I don't know ever if I'll be able to pay them back. It's just too much that they've done for me, that they're always there.
Well, I hope you enjoyed hearing from our alumni. Basically, University of Missouri St. Louis is the place where you can have it all. This is where education meets opportunity. You can really set your own agenda. You have access to world-class researchers and scholars, top-ranked degree programs. You have over 120 student organizations you can join, lots of on-campus housing options. We do have a dedicated international student services team that will be with you from the time you are issued an I-20 all the way till OPT and beyond. And we also have career services, on-campus career fairs, and we have Honors College for our exceptional undergraduates. Oops. Okay. And for our colleges, we have a College of Arts and Sciences that includes biochemistry, biotechnology, as well as other programs like computer science, biology, chemistry, and anything else. Really, we have a College of Business Administration. Students can specialize in a wide variety of business disciplines, but we have Bachelors of Business Administration, we have the MBA program, but we also have Information Systems and Technology at the undergraduate and graduate level, as well as our newly launched Masters in Science of Supply Chain and Analytics. We also have a College of Education, College of Nursing, and an undergraduate engineering program. For undergraduates, we're looking for a 2.3 on a 4.0 scale for admission purposes. For English proficiency, we would want to see a 5.5 IELTS, a 61 on the TOEFL, 85 to 90 on a Duolingo, or 44 on the Pearsons. For graduate admission standards, we always encourage students to refer to the degree profile. We have recommended English proficiency scores of 6.5 on the IELTS, 79 on the TOEFL, 105 on the Duolingo, or 53 on the Pearson. And how to apply? Well, you can work with Priyanka and the MSM team, or students can apply online. We would ask that we have the high school diploma and all the English proficiency test scores, as well as a passport, bank statements, and affidavit of support. Once we have those, it's usually a quick turnaround time of 5 to 10 business days for an undergraduate admissions decision. At the graduate level, you also work with Priyanka. We would ask that we get the immigration documents, the transcripts, test scores, and any other test scores that the program might require. We then send off the application to the department for review. The graduate admissions process happens at the department level, so the admissions committee and the graduate school will both look at it and then make a final decision. And from there, we notify the student by email. When to apply is always a popular question. Oops. For spring semester, for undergraduates, we would recommend November 1st. For fall, we would recommend June 1st. Graduates, we would want them to apply a bit earlier. The spring semester, we would want them to apply by October 1. And then fall semester by May 1. Some of the programs do have an earlier deadline, especially the PhD programs. So it's important to keep track of those. Students are supposed to meet whatever deadline comes first. We will work with students if it's slightly after the deadline, but again, at some point we need them to have time to get a visa. What does it cost for undergraduates? Currently, it's estimated to be about $41,679. That includes undergraduate tuition, living expenses, health insurance, Our BSN program is slightly more expensive, so that would increase that cost. At the graduate level, it will vary by which degree program they are pursuing, but the range will be from $40,043 to $42,051. Again, nursing is a bit more expensive, but students are not billed until they arrive on campus and register for classes. And that is the end of my slideshow.
Great. Thank you, Lee, for sharing all the admission criteria. Now we have questions already there with us. So I'll quickly start and taking up the questions. Thank you all. If you have questions, you can put it across in the Q&A tab. And we are all set to answer all your questions. And we'll be happy to address all your queries and concerns, whatever they are. So I'll start with the first question which was very much expected, that if you can just talk about these scholarship opportunities which are there for the students, and if you can just highlight both for the undergraduate students as well as the graduate students, so what all sort of scholarships which are being given to the students.
Okay, so students will have various opportunities for them. Right now, the current range is from about $6,000 to $14,000. We do encourage students to apply earlier on if they're interested in a scholarship, because we will make awards until all the funds are exhausted. The other opportunity for undergraduate students is the Honors College. Students who participate in the Honors College get to do an advanced curriculum, but they also are eligible for merit scholarships.
Okay, so there is an additional scholarship for the students at an undergraduate level, those who enroll for an honors college. So this was about the undergraduate scholarship. So what about the graduate scholarships, Lee?
The graduate scholarships go up to about $6,000, and we would also encourage students to apply early in order to get maximum consideration.
Great, thank you for that. So though we have already addressed this at the time of your presentation, but the question is about the IELTS and the GRE requirements for the program.
Okay.
I think the IELTS was just included, and so you've gotten a chance to see a little bit more about that, which is different depending on the bachelor's level or the master's level. I will say that our program has recently decided not to use the GRE anymore, and so there is no official GRE testing required. We only use the student's undergraduate record and the English proficiency as indications for admissions into the master's program.
Great. And Lee, can you talk about the IELTS requirement, the English proficiency test requirements?
Yeah. So we would want to see a 5.5 for undergraduates and a 6.5 for graduates.
Great, thank you for that. And everybody, we look at the overall score, the overall band score. We do not look at the individual scores, like in speaking this much should be there, or in listening this much should be there. The overall scores for undergraduate applicants is 5.5, and for graduate applicants it is as Lee has shared about it. So can you please give details on the eligibility criteria for the UG programs, undergraduate programs?
Okay, we would want to see a 2.3 GPA on a 4.0 scale or higher. The scholarship consideration starts at about the 3.0. So that's something to keep in mind.
Thank you for that, Lee. I'll take up another question. There are a lot of questions which are coming up about scholarships, and this is also about the future job opportunities in Missouri. So what all sort of future job opportunities are there in Missouri after completion of the programs?
We have very good success with our students finding jobs, primarily locally, actually. St. Louis is a great city for biotechnology. We have a number of very large local industries and a number of smaller startup companies. There is a good system. We have a lot of networking that happens within our area. We actually invite a lot of our recent alums back to do some of our sort of more social events, so that students who are current students can get a chance to meet them and do some sort of queries about what their kinds of jobs are like. We also have a lot of our students who will do internships in these local places, and that sort of gives them a little bit of a step up when they try to find a position. In addition, we also have several major universities, including 2 with medical schools in town. And so there's a lot of opportunities for researchers who are interested in more academic research to have opportunities in a wide variety of labs, including health-related professions.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Zolman, for that, because this is a very common question which we address coming in from the parents, from the students, and I'm sure this is going to help the partner agents to know about it. And also, can you give a little bit idea on what is the sort of package which the students are able to earn maybe after the completion of bachelor's degree or after the completion of master's degree?
Certainly, we have a number of different students who have recently moved into the field. Some of them move in initial positions, which are shorter contract positions. This gives them a chance to be able to work for a company for a shorter period of time in a certain position and then move up in when companies have more permanent positions. But we also have a number of our students who have moved straight into permanent positions. Most of these positions are full-time positions. They are positions that include all of the benefits. Many of them also include added benefits like tuition for graduate studies if students wish to come back and do more studies. The average salaries in these initial positions are often in the $35,000 to $40,000 range, but it depends a lot on experience and industry. So there's a pretty wide variety depending on what those outcomes look like.
Priyanka, and Dr. Zolman, can I add one thing? I think Priyanka disappeared, and just for all the listeners here today, so in India, Dr. Zolman had a very nice slide with like it was a word cloud, which basically had the opportunities for her graduates of her department there. And of course, when you hear like St. Louis is great for biotechnology and the medical experience, that's one thing, but big names do matter. So you saw Millipore Sigma, you saw Pfizer, you saw, we have like huge hospitals in town that many other people come for just to St. Louis in order to utilize them. And when you look up St. Louis as a destination, and as a matter of fact, biotechnology and the medical field will be on top of the range. And that is why so many students come to St. Louis, and that's a wonderful choice. So I think Priyanka is back. I saw her tile coming up. There's a tile, exactly. And just like, since we are talking to an Indian audience here tonight, I think Dr. Zolman, I don't know how you feel here in St. Louis, but I think 75% of all my doctors are actually Indian, and we love and enjoy that, right?
We have a pretty diverse program, and so we are happy to hear of all of our international students who want to come to the program, and then many of them do choose to stay. And the question was originally about St. Louis. There is a lot of a wider audience, but we do have a reputation at our institution that a lot of students get very attached to St. Louis, and they'll stay because we have such good opportunities for them.
Yeah, and great opportunities in general, but also like as a location. I mean, it's a great place to live, great schools, and quite the square footage for the dollar, right? So so living expenses, and that in combination makes St. Louis a hidden gem, so to speak. I think Priyanka is somewhere. Maybe we'll just go down the.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I actually lost the connection. So
no, I was about to cover for you, but back to you, Priyanka.
Thank you so much. Thank you for covering it up. I missed out on that, so I'll be quickly taking up another question that is about credit transfer, which I also do get very often. So if you can just let us know what are the different options for credit transfers for the graduate students.
We don't tend to have a lot of requests for credit transfers at the graduate level that we are able to accept. We do have a committee that looks at any credit transfer. So students who do have experience at the master's level in courses previously, we will consider it. We will consider up to a third of the degree program, but this depends highly on what the content of the course was, how the instruction of the course was done, and the final grade or final mark in the course.
Great, thank you. And rest, if you have any questions, queries related to credit transfer, you can send across your papers to us. And accordingly, we will evaluate the transcripts or the mark sheet of the student, and we'll let you know more about it, because we need to see the prerequisites or the course work which the student has done. So another question is related to some other department that is about supply chain management program. So Lee, this question I think is for you, that supply chain management program, is it a STEM-based program? And the GRE or GMAT is required for this program or not?
It is a STEM-based program. Right now for fall 21, the College of Business is waiving the GMAT and GRE requirement for MBA and most of its degrees. If students are interested in accounting, it's more difficult to get the waiver, but it's not impossible. We're really excited about supply chain. It's going to be an amazing program, and we have amazing professors. They're doing research and everything from wine distribution to dropping vaccines with drones. So it's a lot of wonderful things coming for that program.
Priyanka, are you still there? Priyanka froze again. Lee, to add, and everybody for supply chain, we also have a research center, which is was recently expanded, and actually supply chain management is one of our growth areas of the university. So whoever is interested in supply chain management can't go wrong with our university. So as long as Priyanka is not there, maybe Lee, we are just checking all the chat box.
I can take over with the next question. That is
Okay.
because we are getting the same questions again. Maybe some people are joining us a little bit late also. So if you can just give a brief on the GRE GMAT requirement for the program and the admission requirement for the program, because I'm getting a lot of questions related to it.
So for the master's program, we have waived the GRE requirements. So there are no specific testing other than English proficiency is still a required testing that must be done for the master's program.
Great. And how many backlogs are accepted?
3 or less is the recommended amount of backlogs.
Great. And what about Duolingo? Because this is a common question which we face. That first is that university is accepting Duolingo, and the second question, which is very common, which I face, is the embassy accepting Duolingo as an English test scores?
Yeah, so we are accepting Duolingo. We have not heard of anybody having an issue with a Duolingo score. The minimum score for an undergrad would be 85, and the recommended score for a graduate student would be 105 or higher.
Fine. And Lian, would you like to talk on the embassy? So embassy is fine accepting Duolingo as an English proficiency test course?
We haven't heard any negatives about Duolingo at all. And I know, as a matter of fact, we're definitely not the only institution accepting Duolingo. And it has become, Lee, I would say, if you verify that, more popular recently under COVID because of just the logistics of the other tests that were more common. Is that right, Lee?
Yes, there was a massive explosion of interest in Duolingo because of how easy it is for students to take it home. But there's also the added benefit of the quick turnaround test time. So if students are afraid to go to a testing center because of COVID, or they need a test turnaround relatively quickly, we recommend Duolingo.
And Priyanka, last but not least on Duolingo, if you or anybody here in the network would hear any rejection of Duolingo, we would really appreciate a notification. We have not heard any negatives yet.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, in the I-20, we always mention that the English proficiency level is excellent, proficient, and so on. So it's not mentioned that it's Duolingo scores or IELTS scores. So that's how it is not mentioned. So we do not have much time. So I'll be quickly taking over with some questions which I feel are very important, but do not feel that your questions are not being taken care of. You can personally get in touch with me and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So it's about the internship. So external internships are paid or free, or what sort of internship opportunities are available for the students?
Many of our students actually do paid internships. These internships, we are happy to give them credit for them. The students are responsible for finding them, although we do have lots of opportunities that we are happy to share with them and help them in that process. Many of our students in pre-COVID times, and hopefully this will be back soon, especially look for those internship opportunities over the summer semesters. When we don't have as many courses, they're a lot more free to be able to do some of those internships.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Bethany. Another question is like, it's quite a different question, and I think, but very important one, like, what are the disability services offered by the university?
Okay. UMSL does have a disability services office, and students register with the office and they are there to support the students. We are fortunate that in the fact that disability services falls under the umbrella of our health and wellness center. And the person who runs that is actually our former assistant director. So he is really in tune with international students. So that is a great asset for us. But realistically, there is a lot of support available. And students just have to be sure to register with disability services and then they can get help.
Yeah, and to add real quick, Priyanka, to add, typically you see students accommodated according to their disability, and they have to check in prior to starting, basically, so they can be like our office would determine what sort of help can be rendered based on the disability. So, for example, we had we had blind students with us. We had like students who have mobility issues. So you would get information how that is set up. And we do offer like in classroom assistance based on needs, like note takers or people who would help with special accommodations. So that is case by case, and we would recommend to get in touch with us ahead of time, and we would connect you with that respective office.
Thank you for that, Leanne, because it's very important considering the situations also. So, and the university supporting the students, those who really need help and still they want to excel in the education. So another question, again, very commonly faced question is, do we accept 3 years of bachelor degree?
Yes, so we do accept some 3-year bachelor's degrees. They have to be awarded in the first or second class at a university that is accredited by the NAAC at a level of A or higher at the time it's awarded. Any other degree outside of that would be considered not equivalent to a US bachelor's. So it's really a case-by-case basis. Unfortunately, that means we can't really determine if a student's going to have the equivalent of a US bachelor's until after they've been awarded their degree and we can see the degree class.
Thank you for that, Lee. Now I'll be taking over the last second question because we are receiving a lot of questions. Again, guys, I have put across my contact information in the chat box. You can take it from there, and you can personally also get in touch with me, and I'll be happy to address your questions. So from our panelist here, another question is about how much time does it take to process the complete application?
Complete application, usually for us to get it out of our office, either an undergraduate admissions decision or send it on to the department, it's under 10 business days. A lot of the departments are able to return a decision relatively quickly, but there are departments that take a longer time. The PhD programs tend to have a longer review cycle. And then we do have some programs like our criminology, criminal justice program that wait till the application deadline to look at everyone. But for the most part, programs like biochemistry, biotechnology, computer science, information systems and technology, they all do a fabulous job of getting the decisions back to us quickly.
Great. Thank you for that, Lee. Now, the last question which I'll be taking is about the gap. So how much gap are we accepting for the applicants, be it for undergraduate level or at a graduate level, if they have an education gap? And second question is, when exactly the student is supposed to pay the fee?
Okay. For our purposes for admissions, UMSL is really has a place for everybody. So we don't really pay attention to gaps for admission purposes. They may, if the gap is too long, they may get questions at the visa interview, but for admissions purposes, we welcome everybody who has diverse life experiences. Everybody has a place here. So if that's what our stance on gaps. And then what was the other question? Sorry.
Is about the fee. When exactly is the student supposed to pay the fee?
Okay. All right. So their students are billed once they register. So after they register, they will get a bill, and they'll pay in installments throughout the semester. So they don't have to pay everything for the degree up front. They don't have to pay everything for the semester up front. They just register for classes, and then they can make payments throughout the semester based on the cashier's criteria. So they'll have a date. You have to pay 25% of your bill by this date, 50% by this date, 75%, and so on.
Great. Thank you for that, Lee. And also, I would like to tell everybody that we do have an application of $40, but that's been waived off for our next intake, which is August intakes. If you have any applications, quickly send us across your applications. You have my mail ID in the chat box. And also, we earlier had a tuition deposit of $1,000 that was for the students who wanted to secure the scholarships. So because of COVID-19, university has taken a step ahead and tried to help our students. So there is no tuition deposit also, which you have to go ahead and pay. And all the fees, whatever is to be paid, that is after the visa, once the students reaches the university and registers for the classes. So that's the time they have to pay the fee. So I would like to request every one of you, because we are actually short of time also, and I'm quite overwhelmed with the kind of response which we have received from our partner agents. I'm sure we have been able to answer to a lot of their questions, and with the wonderful presentation given by Dr. Bethany and Lee, and also the valuable suggestions given by Leanne. So anything which you want to say to our partners agents, those who are listening to us right now? We can start with Dr. Bethany here.
I'm happy to have been able to give you a brief snapshot of our program tonight, and I appreciate your time and attention. I think we have a great program for students who are looking for careers in biochemical and biotechnological research, and that includes a wide range of things. So if you have any additional questions, please pass them on to Priyanka, and she will check in as necessary to get more information, or please check out our website or our social media for more information.
Thank you. Leanne, do you want to say something?
Absolutely. I would just say a big shout out to everybody being interested here tonight. And I can only say that our Indian students are most welcome to UMSL, of course. And I myself, Priyanka, as you know, I'm a transplant. I'm not from here, but I thought I would stay for 2 years in St. Louis, and 8 years later, we're still here as a family. And lots of my friends from India did exactly the same. So welcome to St. Louis, and absolutely welcome to UMSL.
Thank you for that, Leanne. Lee, would you like to say something to our partner agents, because many a times they contact you also for the application work?
Yes. So I just hope you encourage students to come to UMSL, because we're not just here to offer students with a high quality degree. We offer them amazing professors who are accessible. We offer them an amazing city where we have all these opportunities from Fortune 500 companies all the way down to startups. So we are here for your students. Our team is here for your students, and we would love to have your students come join the UMSL family.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time today. I know it's late in the evening out there. Out the time for parents. Would like to say that UMSL, yes, the kind of education you have yourself experienced. Dr. Bethany also have shared about our biochemistry biotechnology program, and we keep on doing different e-summits about our different programs. So apart from the kind of education which we provide, as Lee mentioned, the beautiful city, very vibrant, full of life, with so many foreigners around. St. Louis, it's a metropolitan area with out of the other 20 largest metropolitan areas, it has got the fastest foreign-born population area, populated area, and also in terms of transport, all sort of transport options are available. We love our India subcontinent because most of the people, those who have joined us today, are from India subcontinent. We love our food. So be it our Indian grocery stores, or be it our movies, or be it cricket, which we love. So you won't be missing out on everything when you are there in St. Louis. Our major festivals, Holi, Diwali, Republic Day, you can enjoy that when you are in St. Louis. And UMSL, we just not only believe in providing education to our students, and we also believe in transforming the life of the students. And you will yourself experience when the student will graduate and will get on to their professional life, they would themselves get in touch with you and thank you to help them change and transform their life. So thank you all. Thank you those who have joined us today. We'll have another Agent E-Summit on University of Missouri St. Louis. That is March 16. Please book that in your calendar, and we'll love to see you on March 16 again. Same time, 10 a.m. India time. Thank you all. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.